And sisters and dear friends, hope you guys are well, inshallah. Welcome to Salam Corner. We have a guest today. Well, he's our guest every week. You know, how you doing?
Charles, good.
Charles, how you doing, mate? And we've got Jake. Jake is from New Jersey, America. He's come to the UK. He's doing some courses with Sapiens. Do check that out, inshallah. So yeah, we're going to get straight into it. And hopefully, he's going to make a case for God, and you are an agnostic atheist.
Yes.
Only one condition. Whatever arguments he brings forward, you're not allowed to say it's irrelevant. Okay?
No.
That's good.
That's irrelevant.
I'll leave the table to you guys. I'm going to get your coffee, and you don't want nothing.
Yeah, inshallah.
Enjoy yourself.
So you said you're an agnostic atheist, right?
I am, yes.
So you explained the agnostic bit before, but can you do it again? Why you're agnostic?
Agnosticism, my understanding is that we don't know about God, or me specifically, I do not know there is a God.
Yeah. So why do you say agnostic atheist? Why do you add the atheist part at the end?
Atheism bit is a belief. You are an atheist. You believe in a deity.
Yeah.
I am negating your deity. I am a theist.
Yeah, but you just said that you don't know if God exists, but now you're negating it.
Yeah, I don't believe.
Yeah, but there's a difference between you not believing and you saying there is no God.
The difference, what's the difference?
Because one is just not having a psychological state in which you don't believe in God, and the other one is saying there is no God. So which one is it?
No. Agnosticism, we do not know.
Exactly. One is saying you don't know.
Yeah.
The other is saying there is no God. And I know there is.
I never said there isn't a God.
I know, but I'm showing you how the term is actually contradictory. To say agnostic atheist is contradictory, because in the first part, you're saying you don't know if there's a God. In the second part, you're saying there is no God.
Once again, I never said there's not a God.
I know.
So, do I know there's a God? No, I don't.
Do you know that there is no God?
Do I know there's not a God?
Yeah.
No.
Then you're not an atheist.
No, I am. So, what I'm saying is, you are a theist and you believe there's a God. Do you not?
No, I know there's a God.
Do you believe in God?
Yes, I do.
I do not believe in God.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because I haven't had sufficient evidence.
Yeah, but does that mean that you say that God doesn't exist? You don't say that.
I never said that.
So my point is, the term atheist or atheism in philosophy is not how you defined it. You just made that own definition up.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
There are
Actually,
lots.
there's a distinction between weak and strong atheism.
Yeah, and
so weak atheism says it's just the statement that there's not sufficient evidence to believe in God, therefore the appropriate stance is not to believe.
Yeah, that's not how it's
No,
defined.
there's a distinction between strong and weak
Yeah,
atheism.
hold on a second.
So with that said,
that's not how it's defined in philosophy.
That's not true, you're wrong.
You want to bet?
Yeah. So,
Okay, what's your proof? Can you show me it?
Just look up strong and weak atheism. Just go
No. I can show you the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy entry on atheism, which is the standard. Okay, let me pull it up for you and read it.
Wikipedia over the Stanford.
No, we don't deal with Wikipedia, dude. What are you talking about?
What's wrong with it? It's a very good source. It is. I disagree.
Okay,
Anyway,
I'll
it's
show
my
you.
position.
Encyclopedias written.
Yeah.
whether the definitions are in there or not, it's my
There's no
position
reason why
specifically
Wikipedia
not.
is any worse than Stanford Encyclopedia.
It is. It's an academic source. What are you talking about?
Wikipedia is used all the time by academics. I can assure
Agree
you.
to an extent.
I can assure you, it is used all the time. I've published academic papers, and I can tell you people use Wikipedia all the time.
Okay, so here, I'll read it for you.
Can I be an agnostic atheist?
Let me quote it for you.
Here's the thing: words don't have single definitions.
Okay,
If you
let
look up
me
any
quote
word
it
in
for
a
you.
dictionary,
Let me
you'll
quote it
find
for you.
multiple definitions.
It says atheism is typically defined in terms of theism. Theism, in turn, is best understood as a proposition, something that is either true or false. It is often defined as the belief that God exists, but here belief means something believed. It refers to the propositional content of belief, not the attitude or psychological state of believing, which is what you're talking about. This is why it makes sense to say that theism is true or false and to argue for or against theism. If, however, atheism is defined in terms of theism, and theism is the proposition that God exists, and not the psychological condition of believing that there is a God, then it follows that atheism is not the mere absence of the psychological condition of believing that God exists. More on this below. The A in atheism must be understood as a negation instead of absence, as not instead of without. Therefore, in philosophy at least, not this Wikipedia or whatever you're bringing up, atheism should be construed as the proposition that God does not exist.
Right, okay, hang on.
And he
you'll
did
notice,
say-
you'll notice, hang on. You'll notice it said if in those statements.
If
didn't it?
what?
It said if
It says
this,
in
then
philosophy.
that.
This
It
is
said,
the standard
it
in
said
philosophy.
If this, then
This
that.
is the
Right, now
standard
here's-
definition in
no,
philosophy.
no,
I can show you where the rinky-dink definition you got
You
is.
did
On
say
Wikipedia
before
it says,
your position is the
when-
negation of his.
Whether
this is what that says.
whether how
That's
to
what-
define
that's what I said
Deal with it in
initially.
parts. So
Negation.
one party
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
says
writers
he doesn't
disagree
believe
on
that there
how
is a
best
God.
to
Deal with that.
define and classify.
No, I'm
atheism.
not, because he said
Right?
he's an agnostic atheist. I'm dealing with that point first.
Can
I'm
you have a
saying that your
conversation with this guy?
your position is contradictory.
It's a confused definition.
You're
too.
basically looking up.
Do you know where
stuff in the
do you
encyclopedia
know
and
where
read
do you
by
know where
one
that
guy.
definition came from?
Right.
Do you know where that definition came from? The one that you got?
No, let him have a conversation. Phil, let him have a conversation with this guy.
Do you know where the definition came from? Of lacking belief in God is defined as atheism. That's how atheism is defined. That's what the new atheists tell you, but do you know where that came from? Because I could read you another quote where it came from.
You're not gonna get bogged down in
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're getting bogged down with.
Because what I'm saying is you need to be clear on your position. You're actually an agnostic, you're not an atheist. That's my point.
Fair point, fair point.
Right, so on Wikipedia it says
In
atheism
your-
has been regarded as compatible with.
Listen, my friend, we're having a discussion here.
Phil,
You can wait your turn.
After they finish, it'll be brilliant to have a discussion with Jake.
Right, fine.
If you just give us about 10-15 minutes, Phil. It's good. You came at the right time. Sorry.
So back to the point. You're an agnostic because why? You don't think that you have sufficient reason to believe in God, right?
As I said before,
Yeah.
I don't know there's a God,
And you don't know if there isn't one.
and I don't know there isn't.
Yeah.
I also don't believe there's a God.
Yeah.
But if you can present to me, demonstrate to me, then I'll believe.
So what arguments for God's existence have you heard?
Arguments for God's existence.
Yeah. Meaning, what's the evidence that you've looked at to where you're not sure at this point? What have you surveyed?
The typical one for me would be he exists outside of time and space.
No. What I'm saying is, if
His
if I
existence.
say that to you that God exists, and you've talked to other people that have said God exists before, right?
Uh-huh.
What do they usually tell you to try to provide evidence for that? What's the evidence that you?
Me to provide it.
No. The theist, me.
Yeah.
What are the arguments that you've heard before when somebody has tried to persuade to you that God exists? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. Basically, all the omnis. He's the creator of the universe.
So the fact that creation exists?
Creation, yeah.
No, I think he's what he's referring to is just the attributes of God. What he's asking for is what arguments have you heard? So usually people give reasons
For why they believe.
to lead to a particular conclusion. That conclusion would be that God exists. So like a number of them might be, for example, the Kalam argument, or the argument from dependency, or
philosophical
design
arguments.
argument.
Yeah.
stuff
So
like
I'm
that.
saying, are you familiar with them?
Yeah.
The
Okay, so which ones have you heard? Which ones are you familiar with?
You know, all the late ontological Kalam argument from design.
Okay. So have you heard of the contingency argument?
I've heard the contingency, but if you want to run over that again.
Yeah, so the contingency argument is basically that in the world we see that there are dependent things that are contingent, that don't have to exist. For example, this little booklet doesn't have to exist. It probably won't in, I don't know, a matter of years, right? You agree with that? So all of the things that we experience, generally speaking, are limited, dependent, and contingent things.
Yeah,
They don't have
I
to
agree.
exist, right? You agree with that? So the question is, why do they exist? I'm asking you.
Well, the material things on Earth,
Yeah.
you know, humans have made them
Yeah, but what's the explanation for it?
with a purpose.
Meaning, where did it come from? What's the explanation for it? Because we can have an explanation for this book, but if we go back and back further and further, is there ever a stopping point?
I say yes.
And what's that stopping point?
where it's been created, made, no?
Well, if it was created or made, who created or made it?
But that's the thing. Created.
Yeah.
What is the definition of created?
Well, you just used it, so you tell me.
Yeah, but it's kind of ambiguous, isn't it? Did we create the book or did we make the book?
That's a synonymous.
I mean, yeah, it's the same thing.
Synonymous, yeah. So can I trace the book back to where?
Well, you might not know, but we can, yeah.
So humans.
Yeah, we can trace
create.
this back.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm saying, is there a stopping point, or does this explanation go on and on forever? Meaning I can give an explanation where this book came from, right? But then we go back further to the explanation of that, and further and further, further. Do we ever get to a stopping point, or is there an infinite regress of explanations?
I think there's a stopping point.
Okay, if there's a stopping point, is that stopping point contingent or is it necessary?
Contingent.
Why?
To start off specifically with that book,
Yeah,
we have to have something to have made it, no?
exactly. So we keep going back. Don't get bogged down in the book example.
It's just an example.
Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
saying we go back from the book to the materials that it was made from, before that, and each thing is being explained. So we have,
That's a logical.
yeah. So for example, this book that's contingent.
Yeah.
It's being explained by something else that's contingent,
Yeah.
right? Human beings created it. They made it. The paper that it's made out of is also contingent,
Yep.
meaning that it didn't have to exist.
Uh-huh.
So I'm saying when we keep explaining things one after another in the chain of contingent things, do we ever get back to something that's necessary? Or are you saying at the beginning of the chain, there's also something there that's still contingent? And if that's the case, what's the difference between the book and that first contingent thing in the chain? Because if this needs an explanation, why wouldn't the first thing?
That's a good question.
So what's your answer, brother?
How would I know?
What's that?
How would I know?
Well, do you believe that contingent things require an explanation? In other words, something that doesn't have to exist. If we see things that we know don't have to exist as human beings, we seek out an explanation for why they exist, right? We say, oh, why is this book here? Or why is this cup here? There's an explanation for it because it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
So if all contingent things have an explanation,
Yeah.
then what's the explanation for the first contingent thing?
I don't know.
You don't know, but what I'm saying is you have to get to eventually you have to get to a point in which you get to an entity in which he is necessary rather than contingent, which can explain all of the rest of contingent reality.
Okay.
Otherwise, you, just like this book,
Yeah.
everything in the chain that you think that you're explaining goes back and back, but the first point you have no explanation for. So there's no connection between that and everything else that follows.
Okay.
So now you have everything has been unexplained. Nothing's explained.
Okay. So let's get back to your
Yeah.
God concept.
Yeah, so my point is, in order to explain contingent existence, things that exist, you need to get back to something that is necessary, which couldn't fail to exist, which therefore explains all the rest of contingent reality.
So it'd be a unique type of being.
So we're talking. Let's talk about the cosmos with the universe.
Yeah.
What we're in now.
Yeah.
The chain of contingent things. The chain of contingent things.
Yeah.
Are you saying your God did this?
Of course.
Okay.
But I'm saying that chain. So we took the book as the example, and we're going back and back in the chain.
Yeah.
That chain itself, is it necessary or contingent? It's contingent because it didn't have to exist. Unless you want to say it's necessary, because if you think that that chain is necessary...
Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So your God is necessary.
Yeah.
And with the logic that you just followed,
Yeah.
There's no regress on him.
What do you mean? The chain stops with him. He's
Yeah.
a necessary being.
He's a necessary being.
Yeah, and all contingent reality flows from him.
From him.
Yeah.
Nothing before him.
No.
Is that logic?
Why not? What's
Why not?
illogical about it?
Because we've just done regressions.
Yeah, in the chain.
And then it stopped.
And yeah, we asked at the beginning that first initial thing. Let's call it the initial thing.
Initial.
Yeah, the first item.
Yeah, I got
Okay,
it. I've got it.
the first item, I asked you, was it necessary or contingent? You said contingent.
Yeah.
I explained the problem with it because if contingent things require an explanation, then there's no difference in this contingent book requiring explanation and the first thing that's contingent requiring explanation.
I'm confused.
Okay, so this book is...
No, one second. I'm not confused. I'm
Yeah.
confused with the necessary.
Yeah, but I'm explaining how we got there.
How do we get
Yeah,
to necessary?
exactly. That's what I'm explaining, how we got there. So, if contingent things require an explanation,
Yeah.
even if you say that there's a stopping point for the chain, the first item that's in the chain is contingent. That's what you said.
Yeah.
You said it was contingent.
Yeah.
So that first thing requires an explanation.
Uh-huh.
You don't have an
I
explanation
do
for
not
it.
have an explanation.
If you don't have an explanation for the first thing in the chain,
Yeah.
and everything else that follows from it, what's the explanation? Because the entire chain itself is possible. It doesn't have to exist.
Yeah. Something initially happened, and then everything else from that is contingent.
Yeah,
of
so that first thing, was it eternal?
Was it?
Or did
Is-
it begin?
is it?
Yeah, did it begin to exist?
That would be hard to. Did it begin to exist?
Yeah.
Did it begin to exist? That's a hard one, no?
What?
How'd you work that one out?
What do you mean? Sorry.
Is it eternal? Infinite?
Yeah. Or did it have a beginning?
How will I ever know? Is that my mind
I'm asking you.
I don't know.
You don't know.
With the intellect I have, I don't know. What's his infinite? That's a mathematical?
So, do you think it's possible for something to come from nothing?
Is it possible? Yeah.
How?
How?
So, again, you think it's possible for something to come from nothing?
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
No.
You can't.
No.
So why would you believe that?
Faith.
Faith. So you have faith that something can come from nothing.
Am I not allowed to have faith?
I mean,
have you got the monopoly on faith?
no, you can have faith,
Thank
brother,
you.
but I'm just
I'll
pointing it
take
out.
the
So
faith that
why?
something
So
came
let's
from
think
nothing.
about that. Why? Why do you have faith in that? Think about it. Why do you have faith in that?
Why?
That's a tough one, right?
In all possible worlds,
Yeah.
that can happen.
What do you mean? Sorry.
In an infinite possibilities,
Yeah.
can that happen?
Okay, so let's think about this. You
No,
said,
it's a simple. It's a question.
yeah, I'm saying it's impossible.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Have you investigated all impossibilities?
Yeah, this possibility I have.
No. Do you hear what I said?
Yeah.
Have you personally
Yeah.
investigated all impossibilities?
I don't need to.
Oh, you don't need
No.
to? Oh,
I don't.
you dismiss.
No, because this point here, what you're saying, something can come from nothing,
Yeah.
is absurd. Because nothing has no properties whatsoever.
Nothing has no property.
You're saying there's absolutely nothing and something comes from that. How does that happen? How do you get... It's like you going to a
One second,
magic
one-
show.
You asked me a question.
Yeah.
Let me think about it.
Okay, think
You
about
load
it.
me with another question.
Think about it.
Nothing.
I was gonna tell you something, but think about it.
No, you asked me first.
Yeah, go ahead.
So nothing. What is nothing?
You tell me. What does it mean in English?
The
I know I'm
absence-
in the UK and I'm from
absence-
America, but we're
the
speaking the same
absence of
language.
Everything.
Absence of everything.
Yeah.
Nothing means not a thing. It's
No-
the opposite of something.
No thing.
Yeah, no thing. No thing.
It's crazy, no?
It's crazy.
It's
Exactly.
Like, it's conceptual.
So you can conceive of nothingness?
in my mind, in my abstract mind,
What is it? What do you see?
the absence of everything.
What does it look like?
It's kind of similar to infinite.
How do you conceive
It's
of
kind
infinite?
of synonymous with eternal.
In what sense? Sorry.
Can you conceptualize eternal?
Hold on a second. Before, you were not sure whether or not the first thing was eternal. Now you have to move to saying it's eternal.
No, I'm just saying to you, because my brain's melting at this
It's all
point.
right, bro.
We've got these loaded words, labels, eternal,
Yeah.
infinite, nothing.
Yeah.
Can we conceptualize any of them?
You tell me.
I cannot. Can you?
You just got through telling me. I asked you, you said nothingness is a concept. I said, can you conceptualize it? You said yes. Now you're telling me you can't.
That's the contradiction.
That's the contradiction. That's what I'm
It's
saying.
like a paradox.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what
So
atheism is.
Whoa. That'll be name calling, no?
You said it, brother.
Your God exists eternally.
Correct.
Infinitely.
Correct.
And you can conceptualize that.
Yes.
Oh.
He didn't have a beginning. What's the
Did not
problem?
have- you can conceptualize didn't have a beginning.
Why
So
not?
I'm finding it very difficult to do that.
Why?
Why?
You conceived of nothingness just 5 minutes ago.
Well, if you've got your paradigm of eternal and infinite, I'm going to have nothing. How's that?
Why?
Faithfully.
Why though? Think about it. I want to know what's the real reason you have faith that everything that exists came from nothing. And you can't even conceptualize nothingness, but you have faith in this thing that's called nothingness.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
So in my dream world, I can come up with nothingness. And from that nothingness, something comes out of it.
Explain that to me.
It's
Seems very religious of you.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sorry, but you have to humble yourself.
Yeah.
And your tiny mind might not be able to conceptualize it. Mine can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the point. You just notice the thing. First, you said that you could conceptualize it.
Yeah.
Then you said that you couldn't conceptualize it. Now you're telling me that my mind is too tiny, but maybe yours can conceive of it. So you went from conceiving it to not conceiving of it to back to conceiving it.
I had a little bit of a meltdown.
I know, but you're still
I'm
melting
back up
down
now.
now,
I'm back
bro.
up. I'm
You're
back
still
up
melting
now.
down.
I'm
Well,
back.
let me tell you this.
The caffeine has kicked in. I am back.
Mashallah. I don't have enough faith to be an atheist.
Okay. And I don't have enough faith to be a Muslim.
Why? You believe in nothingness, which you can't even conceive of.
No, I can.
You can,
I
but then
can.
you can't. Both
No,
of them.
Like I said, I had a
Both of them.
meltdown. I'm back now.
Okay, you're back
I can
to it.
conceive
Of nothingness. Okay,
The
explain it
absence
to me.
of everything.
Explain it to me.
It's the absence of everything.
Does it have any properties? It doesn't.
It doesn't. No.
So how does everything that exists, which has properties, come from nothing which has no properties? How does that work?
I'm stuck.
You are stuck, brother. I'm stuck. I could never possibly believe in that. I don't have enough faith for that.
I did say, in all possible worlds, it can happen.
I know, but then when I ask you how, you can't explain it.
I can
You
explain.
just say you have
How
faith.
can I explain the beginning of the universe?
So how about this? What if I told you, you asked me, why do I believe that God exists? And I just said, I have faith.
Uh-huh.
What do you think of that? Would you accept it?
I'll accept that you believe that.
Yeah. So just imagine that me right now, I tell you, I just have faith that God exists. And I have faith that Islam is true.
Okay. Can you show me?
No, if I say to you, I can't show you, I just have faith.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. What's the difference between you and me?
Not a great deal.
Not a great deal.
No. You have a belief in faith.
And you have a faith and belief in nothingness. That's the only difference. Right now, that's the only difference.
Is it similar?
So why do you prefer?
Sorry, is it similar?
You said it was.
Are you saying?
Yeah,
Similar.
I am.
Okay.
I'm saying to you. So now, first of all, I don't hold that position
Okay.
because I was giving you an argument before.
What is your position?
I believe in God. I know that God exists.
Which one?
I have arguments for God's existence. I just gave it to you
Can
before.
you demonstrate to me
Yes.
that your God is true?
Yes, I am.
real?
I am, my friend.
Okay, let's go.
But what my point to you is this. If I approached you
Yes.
and said, I just simply have faith,
Uh-huh.
would you accept it? You would accept it, would you?
I'll accept what you're saying.
Okay,
your
so now
statements.
I want to deal with this point. Why? Because I think this is something not really intellectual. I
No.
think this is psychological. Why do you prefer nothingness rather than faith in something like a higher power, God, etc.? What do you think the reason for that is? It's a deep question.
It's a deep question. I can't answer. It's psychological.
It is.
I don't believe what you're saying.
Yeah.
Can you demonstrate to me
Yeah.
that what you say is true and
I can,
correct?
I can.
Please.
But what I want to understand is, because to me, it boggles my mind that somebody would have faith in absolutely nothing and everything coming from that and saying, well, it's contradictory and I have faith in it, etc. But now, if a religious person were to say things like that, many times we would be laughed at. We would say, what is this guy talking about?
Are you not laughter?
Well, usually I'm not. I'm usually the one laughing. Yeah.
So, once again,
Yeah.
you have a God.
Yes, I do.
Can you demonstrate to me that this God exists?
Yeah. Yeah. I was just doing it before.
Yeah, I'm ready now.
So I was just doing it before. That if you think that contingent things require an explanation, then that chain itself of every contingent thing requires an explanation.
Okay.
In order to stop that from asking, well, we have this contingent thing, and that requires an explanation, and that requires an explanation, you need to get to a stopping point in which the thing which is explaining the other things is necessary, and it doesn't require an explanation outside of itself. That's what God is, the necessary being.
And he has attributes.
Yeah, he does.
Characteristics.
Power, knowledge, etc. Yeah.
And where did he get that from? Because those things are contingent, aren't they?
Why would they be? Sorry.
You're saying, what characteristics again?
Will, power, knowledge.
Where did he get that from? Where do you
What do you
get
mean, where
knowledge
do you
from?
get-
So I get my knowledge from,
So brothers, can we move back?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
my knowledge is contingent of a mind, no?
On your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's your God's knowledge from?
Why would it be from somewhere? Sorry.
Contingent.
Why?
It has no contingency.
No, why would it be?
Why would it be? 'Cause
Actually, let's think about this. Let's think about knowledge.
yeah,
Okay. You believe in truth?
I believe in truth. Yeah.
What is truth?
What is truth? I think we're going away from.
No, because I'm going to bring it back because you're asking about the knowledge. So I'm going to show you why God has knowledge.
truth.
Yeah.
Facts on.
Okay, would you say that truth is that which corresponds to reality? Meaning, when you say something is true, what does that actually mean?
Yeah. No,
Like give an example of something. The grass is green.
the grass is green.
Okay, why is that true?
Why is that?
Because that statement that you make corresponds to a reality, the fact that grass exists and it's green, right?
Yeah. So we're using our senses for
Yeah, sure.
that. And are our senses often fooled?
You tell me.
I think so.
What if it's an idealist?
So,
And now you jump in.
I'm sorry, no. By the way, guys, if 8 minutes, would you be able to wrap it up?
yeah, sure. So let me,
don't think so.
I'll try my best to make the
So
argument.
again, the grass is green.
Yeah.
In our truthful reality,
Yeah.
it is the case. But often,
Yeah.
our senses are easily fooled.
Do you trust your reasoning faculties?
More or less.
More or less?
More or less. Not 100%.
But do you think that they are reliable in some sense,
reasonably?
such that the grass is green? You believe that that's true,
It's believable.
and you don't have any doubt about
I
it.
don't have any doubt. It's reasonable to believe. But when it comes to your
Yeah.
God, it's not reasonable.
Well, I'm
for
going to
me.
bring it back. I'm going to bring it back to knowledge.
We've only got 8 minutes. So
Yeah. So I'm going to bring it back to knowledge. So That, would you say that that's a contingent truth, or is that a necessary truth that grass is green? It's contingent. Grass doesn't have to exist.
Go on.
Okay, what about 1 + 1 = 2? Is that necessary? Meaning, is it possible for 1 + 1 to equal 3?
Never. Come on, man, what are you thinking about?
Think about it.
Yeah?
Go on.
Do you think it's
Go on.
possible?
It's just been argumentative. No.
Yeah. Okay. So, it's not possible for 1 + 1 to equal to 3.
See, my brain's gone again.
Why?
In that other universe, 1 and 1 is 3. Is that
What?
possible?
Where'd you get that from? What universe?
The one
So-
beyond time and space.
Okay, so you think there's a possible world in which 1 + 1 equals to 3?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'm sorry, man.
It's a joke.
It's no joke.
No, tell me it's a joke.
In all possible worlds, because I don't know if this is just the one. In that other universe,
What would-
1 and 1 is 3.
What would be different that it would make 1 + 1 3?
What would be different?
Yeah. Think about it.
In this universe, in
Yeah.
our world,
Yeah.
1 and 1 is 2.
So why would it be different in another universe?
It's another possibility. Is it not plausible?
No.
No. Okay.
No, it's not.
Okay.
I don't see it.
Okay. Have you investigated this?
Yes.
You have. Okay.
Okay. So 1 + 1 = 2
Yeah.
is a necessary truth.
Again, I'm sorry.
You don't believe that. Do you
It's a
believe?
necessary fact.
Yeah. Do you believe that any truth is necessary?
Any truth is necessary.
You can't think of a single one. So how about contradictions? Do you accept contradictions?
Except contradiction.
You do.
What is there not contradictory things in this universe?
No.
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 Oh my goodness.
Yes, there is.
Oh.
No, there isn't.
Are you mocking?
Yes.
Oh, he's making a
No.
point.
And that's how it is.
You're
there
contradicting
are
yourself.
contradictory things in this universe.
No, there
There
isn't.
are-
Let me think about it. There might be. Yeah, there is. Can you give me an example?
Quantum mechanically.
So you believe in true contradictions, and you believe that 1 + 1 = 3.
Quantum entanglement says a thing can be in 2 places at once.
How's that a contradiction? Sorry.
How can a photon of light
Yeah.
be a wave and a particle at the same time?
You tell me.
I don't know. There's a contradiction.
What's the contradiction? Sorry.
How can it be a wave
Yeah.
and a particle at the same time?
No,
Do you
it's not at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a double slit experiment. At different times when it's observed and when it's not observed.
Yeah.
It's systematic. So every time it's observed, it acts a certain way, and every time it's not observed, it acts another way. So it's systematic. Even though I agree with what is in it, sometimes it's particles, sometimes it's waves.
That's just one.
Okay.
Carry on.
So let's recap the discussion because we only have 5 minutes or whatever it is.
3 minutes.
Okay,
sir.
3 minutes.
So so what I just said, there are contradictions in the universe.
Okay, here's what you believe so far. You believe in true contradictions. You believe in nothingness and everything coming from nothing, and you have faith in that. And because you contradicted yourself several times,
Do you believe that?
and yeah, you missed the whole party, bro.
How are you not calling me to the after party?
You can rewind.
You're gonna have to rewatch it. I'm recapping.
But he does know what contingent is, right?
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah, but I'm recapping from him. He said he has faith in nothingness. That everything.
I was summarizing what I said.
Yeah. And then you can summarize what I said.
Yeah.
Okay? So he said that he has faith in absolute nothingness and that everything that exists came from nothingness. Then when I said, can you conceive of it? He said, yes. I asked him to explain it. He said, oh no, I can't actually conceptualize it. Then he went back to saying that he could, but he never explained it. And now,
You're upsetting me now.
and now I told him I don't have enough faith to be an atheist. Because he has faith in absolute nothingness, right?
Yeah.
Then I gave him the contingency argument. I explained why there needs to be a necessary being, because you need to stop the chain at some point in order to explain all of contingent reality. Then he talked about, well, does this God have what attributes? And I said, yeah, he has knowledge, power, will, etc. And then we started discussing knowledge. So now I tried to give you examples of knowledge. I didn't get to finish my point, but
did
my
not.
point, yeah, I did not.
point is-
Yeah,
Name up his point
yeah.
and then-
Let me finish my point. My point was this.
30 seconds, Jake.
I was trying to establish that there are things that are called necessary truths. And truth is something, it's a quality of a mind. And because of that, you need a necessary being in order to have the knowledge of necessary truths, such as the law of non-contradiction, 1 + 1 = 2, etc. But because you don't believe in that, you believe in 1 + 1 = 3, that's the problem.
Charles, your closing statement.
Yeah, I mean, I feel as though you were dancing around the question. Just demonstrate to me where your God is.
It's got a minute and a half, Karen. Whatever you like to say.
Go ahead.
There was-
Recap what did you get out of this conversation?
I got absolutely nothing out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, nothing.
You didn't get anything,
Let's let him finish. Let him
The
finish.
absence
He's-
of
he's-
everything, I got nothing.
which you have faith in. So then I did a service to you.
He has to have this. You have your closing statement because the viewers are going to decide. They've watched this for themselves. You've got 1.5 minutes. Say whatever you like to say.
Is this going on the atheist community?
For everybody.
No, don't worry about it, brother. Go ahead. Sorry,
Yeah,
I
I'm
won't
just-
cut you.
I did not have a demonstration of your God.
Are you done?
Just a nebulous thing from out of space.
That's it? You're done?
Anything else you'd like to say?
No.
Charles, it's been a pleasure. Jake, thank you very much. I mean, guys, you at home can make
Cheers.
a decision. You heard Charles.
Did you enjoy it, Charles?
You heard Jake.
Okay, good.
I enjoyed it with the little time I was here. You at home make a decision and leave a comment at the section below. Do not forget to follow Jake as well, inshallah. And Charles, if he has a channel, maybe one day have a channel. Till next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Charles, it's a pleasure, man. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Can you give an example of necessary?
What's that?
Okay, thank you.
Can you give an example of necessary?
Phil!
Yeah, 1 + 1 = 2.
Phil wants to discuss a Kalam cosmological argument.
What's that?
Phil wants to discuss a Kalam cosmological argument with you.
Okay.
Yeah?
Sure.
Phil? Yeah. Okay, Phil, you can use the